congratulations, guys. You got a house under contract, but don't get too excited just yet, okay? Because you still have the option period and the inspection to go. And at times, those can be a deal killer. But how do we protect our buyers, and how do we set expectations to make sure that they are aware of what to expect during the option period and what your duties as their agent are during the option period, okay? And that's what I want to talk about today. So first and foremost, you guys have to understand that under no circumstance do you provide or assist the buyer with any type of repair request, okay? All you do is just listen to the buyer as far as what they want repaired, and you write it on your amendment that goes along with it, and then you send it off. The reason being is that once the buyer hires an inspector, it's the inspector's job to thoughtfully explain everything that's going on with that house, okay? That's why it's important for us to hire, or when we give those 3 different options for inspectors, that each of those options are good. That way, when they do make that decision, we know that they're going to get a good inspector that's not going to just terrify them about the house and thoughtfully explain everything to where it's not going to make them run away and duck for cover about the house. Okay, so that's first and foremost. We got to make sure that we understand that we do not give any type of advice to the buyers when it comes to repair requests. It's up to the buyer to determine what they want fixed. They just tell you, and then you write that on the amendment. Okay. But we can coach our buyers going into the inspection period to have what's called, set the expectation of what to be on the lookout for. Okay. Now, how do we do that? It goes all the way back to our first initial consultation with our buyer. Okay. These are some things that you can go over with them when you get to that point. And it's really good because you're setting the expectation early. That way they've heard it before, so when it comes time to hearing it again, they always can say, oh yeah, I remember you saying something like this, and now you can go into even more detail. All right? There are 5 different items that I always suggest going over in the inspection or when preparing your buyer for an inspection. Okay? Not saying that outside of these items that the buyer cannot ask for any repair requests, but these are the 5 big ticket items that I recommend staying on the lookout for, because most of the times these will be a deal killer if the seller doesn't want to repair it, or if they don't want to contribute any money towards it. Okay. Now the very first one, and this is again no certain order, but these are the 5 big ticket items that I would advise you to coach your buyers on. Okay. The very first one going through your inspection period is the roof. Okay, if anything shows up on the inspection report involving the roof, I do advise you guys to have it looked at by a licensed professional or have it looked at by a roofer. Okay, the next one is the HVAC system. Anything that comes up with the HVAC system, I would advise you guys to have it looked at. The third one, if anything's going on with the electrical systems, I would advise you guys to have somebody look at it. Anything going on with the plumbing, I would advise somebody a licensed professional to go take a look at it, okay? And finally, again, in no order, if anything is going on with the foundation, again, I would recommend somebody going out there and taking a look at the foundation just so the buyer would have peace of mind, okay? Now, it sounds like I'm telling them exactly what to look for, which is what I just told you not to do, but this is happening early on in your initial consultation. So now that when we go under contract, the buyers know what to look out for. And we do that because if anything does come back, they always can say, well, AJ, yeah, you said to be on the lookout for this. It doesn't seem too bad. We can move on. All right? And that is the best feeling when you know you have set the expectation early on for your buyer to be on the lookout for these items, and that they're not super scared during the option period. Okay? You guys got to remember, there's a lot of first-time home buyers that you're going to be working with. They've never gone through this process before. And so they may be a little rattled. So if we can set the expectations early on in our first initial consultations with our buyers, and then kind of continue to coach them throughout the process, especially during the option period, it makes for a much better transaction for them. Okay? Now, once again, the roof, electrical, plumbing, foundation, and HVAC. I do advise you to talk about those with your buyers early on, and then when they get the inspection, they can talk with their inspector, and if it's something that they want to have repaired, we can always write it down on the amendment. Okay? So that is how I would want you guys to go about handling the inspection period. Anything else that comes out of that inspection report, of course, you can address it if the buyer wants to. But those 5 big ticket items are what I would really address, and hope your buyer kind of catches on to those, because those are really hefty items to deal with after the fact. All right. Again, you guys call me with any questions. I'm definitely happy to help, but I hope that helps with inspections and kind of setting the expectation for your buyer and what you are to do as their agent. Again, you do not advise anything once you get that inspection report. You make sure that they tell you exactly what they want from the inspector's mouth and directly to you, and then you just write it down on that amendment. All right. That's all I got. You guys, talk to you soon.